Stop.
Gotta psych yourself up for it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a coffee.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Keek the Only's Not So Lonely, episode 4. Today we have a very special episode on our hands, but before that, I'd just like to introduce the people on the podcast today. I'm joined by my co-host, Spooky John Dog.
Hello, gamers.
My other co-host, Marky Moo, aka Marcus.
Good afternoon, gamers.
And our very special guest, Lessons in History, aka Chris.
Hello there.
So, first topic, I've reached out to all the people on my Snapchat, and we're going to do a little Q&A with...
Him.
Yes.
Him.
Capital H.
The mystery man.
It would have rhymed.
It would have rhymed.
It's hard not to say it once you say Q&A.
Yeah.
That ruins it. Sounds like the other host.
Yeah, it's alright. The first question that I got this off a lot of people, and a lot of people want to know if you watch Love Island for some reason.
Oh, you've got to be joking.
No. People.
It's awful. I genuinely have never even watched it, but it just seems to be people in bikinis or in shorts, and I can't be bothered with that.
Oh yeah, I got something wrong on the last episode, and my mum got really mad at me for it. She wrote me like a huge paragraph saying like, because apparently I said she watches it for the science. And that's incorrect. She says that it's car crash TV, and like she just finds it intriguing to watch this because she doesn't understand how love has changed over the years in that kind of way, because you're expected you're literally expected to sleep in a bed with someone that you've met for like 3 days. Like,
yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
It's quite strange.
It's not the kind of show that would air on Saudi Arabia, would it?
That's true.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't know, but each to their own. But
Yeah.
it's not educational.
No,
It definitely isn't for the science.
Definitely not.
It
Yeah.
can be quite harmful as well. You know, it gives people the wrong idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
'cause the thing is that the young people go watch it and they think, oh yeah, this is how relationships work, and then it's just really not the reality.
Yeah, it's quite damaging, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got another question, and it's gonna be quite generic. You've probably heard it a lot. What is your favorite time in history?
Yeah, I actually get asked quite a lot about this. I wonder why people think it's that exciting. I like the idea of the Romans, just because they had control. It's not something that I know particularly a lot about, but just like the idea of living in a society where it is relatively peaceful if you're living in the centre.
Nice. I heard Horrible Histories are doing that Rotten Romans film, aren't they?
A film.
Yeah, they're doing like Horrible Histories Rotten Romans film. Like,
Oh, cool.
I know it's I literally saw it on TV today.
The books are unbelievable. I mean, I know they're old. I was having a look at some the other day. They are literally packed with information. You couldn't ask for more. If that's like aged or targeted at like primary school kids, they're just fantastic. I think one was, where's Hadrian's Wall at the bottom of Hadrian's Garden? I know it's cheesy. They're just filled with information. When I have kids one day, yeah, definitely going to be reading them to them.
Yeah, they're brilliant books. I remember we had like tasks in primary school, and I wrote to the writer of the thing. I think I got a response, but it was from like one of his higher ups, and it's like I will pass this letter on to him, and then I just got no response from it. which is brilliant.
He did not warrant a response.
I once sent a letter to Santa Claus or Father Christmas way back when. I never heard anything. I genuinely remember putting Lapland on the letter.
Oh,
Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's devastating.
That's gotta hurt. What did you ask for? Can you remember?
That'd have been a great question. No, no idea. Although I remember one of the first gifts I ever got. My mum bought me. Remember PJ and Duncan?
No.
Oh, you'll know them as Ant and Dec.
Oh,
Google
right.
PJ and Duncan.
I just googled it now. Yeah.
They had what's it called? They had a song called "Let's Get Ready to Rumble."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
And my mum got me that as a cassette.
Oh.
So you can guess my age from that.
Yep.
Jeez. Well, that came out when? Like 1994.
90s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they were in that film. What was it? Alien Autopsy. That was like their first breakaway film.
That could have been a nice segue. That.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a segue. Someone asked if you are going to Area 51.
I think we all know if I'm ever going to travel in one direction, it's going to be eastwards. It's not going to be going to the west.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, there's been a lot of recent going on.
What did it start from? What did it just start going around as?
It was just like a Facebook poll, or like what's it? No.
Event. Yeah, a Facebook event.
Okay.
And it was just like, let's storm. They can't like stop us if we all go at once.
Yeah, I think
And
it's been a running joke for a really long time, but no one's actually ever like made something that's gathered as much a following until now.
Because there's lots of little bits that have been chucked in. Like there's like people make war plans and they put different groups in.
I actually have a war plan right here.
Do you ever
Yeah, okay, ready. The first group are the Kyles with the Monster Energy drinks, who will serve as a basic infantry, attacking the notorious military base, using their Monster Energy drinks as a type of combat. Okay. And then backing them is the second group of the Rock Throwers, who will act as they'll act as artillery. I imagine the idea is that the rocks will force the American soldiers back to the base and retreat. Finally, and this is the clever bit, the third group, the Naruto runners, will run along the fringe.
Oh god.
The fringes of battle like weird kinds of light cavalry.
See, they won't be able to hit them if they do the little run, will they?
Yeah, exactly.
True.
They can just dodge the bullets.
What about the gamers?
There wasn't anything
coordinated.
Yeah. They're the battle masters.
But you're surprised why this hasn't happened before. You know, I can't remember, apart from like watching Google Maps or looking at Google Maps and looking at Area 51. You know, who has pictures from there or selfies from there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've actually been watching a really interesting documentary on Netflix, and it's called Bob Lazar. And he's a guy who actually worked at the Area 51 base, and there's records of it and etc. And he describes the goings on of what actually went on in the actual base, and he speaks about obviously alien craft, and he was an engineer and he worked on alien craft. I'm not saying that it's true, but there's a lot of evidence to back his claims.
Bit suspicious though. I mean,
I mean
about all the hype with Ed Snowden and what he's allowed to have his own Netflix documentary.
It's quite strange because it is quite suspicious, but at the same time a lot of information about him is quite vague, but it can be backed by a lot of evidence. It's one of them was he made a claim about this hand scanner which scans the bones in your fingers to see how long it is, and people just couldn't get over the fact, people just couldn't understand it, and they were like, I just don't believe you, because he'd have to scan his hand every time that he went into the office. And I think it's only recently that the actual US government has released these photos of actual hand scanners, and it's exactly how he described it. So
it's not like a retina scanner, but for the hand?
It's not even a retina scanner. It's literally it measures the bone shape in your fingers and the length of each finger. It's quite strange, down to the millimeter. It's really weird.
The thing is though, is that with that, it's so cool and that, but what happens if your hand shrinks or grows?
Exactly. I don't understand. I think it's the actual bone shape. So if you break your hand, you can't get in.
Yeah.
Should we get Alex? What's his name? Not Alex Guinness. Alex Jones on next week then.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
The freaking
I want to listen to the podcast with with Joe Rogan. Oh, he just goes off on one. It's incredible. The rant. Let me tell you. No, the real thing is this.
Just gives up immediately. Like, just let him do it.
Yeah. I don't understand how Alex Jones had his run for so long, if you get what I mean.
It's kind of fun to watch.
The claims that he made...
Is it banned now, or...?
Weren't always...
Like on YouTube?
Yeah. Like, the claims he made weren't always heavily backed, and people just believed him.
Yeah.
I think it...
He only kept he got like demonetized. It was his website, I think InfoWars. He was selling loads of supplements and crap.
Oh yeah.
And people were buying them. And he was rolling in it. I don't think he believes in half the stuff he says. I think he's just
Oh
selling
yeah.
Like the frogs thing. I don't know. I think that's not basic. There's some evidence, you know.
The last thing I remember him saying was there are experiments going on somewhere that make like a half human, half animal. Is it like chimera or something like that?
Oh God!
And they've been this was on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's just crazy. It's painful to hear an adult say that. You know, when someone says something so stupid, and you feel more dumb because you've listened to it.
I think his story started because this is very vague claim, but he was in the Pentagon. I don't know how he managed to get in there, but it's like been proved that he was in the Pentagon one day, and I guess he was walking past a bunch of like leaders, and his claim is that he saw one of, I think he's just some really old guy, I can't remember his name, but he claims that he saw him turn into a lizard. Like
that's like the Obama bodyguard one?
Yeah.
Who's that other guy? That white guy with white hair? What's he called? The crazy one. The royal family are lizards.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Reptiles, not. Reptiles. Like, just like if you Google like reptile conspiracy, his name will probably come up.
I'm banging that into the Google now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was like Secret Service agents, and there's an image of like a Secret Service agent turning his head, and it genuinely does. It looks like Voldemort. It looks really strange. But then there's like a debunked video, for instance. But there's a guy who believes that the royal family are either reptiles or lizards or something. What's his name?
I can't find anything. I'm going to type in royal family lizards. And maybe that'll do the trick.
Is it David Icke?
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
That's it. David Icke.
Kean. That's it. Yeah.
David Icke and the reptilian elite.
Yeah. I remember David Icke. He's been gone for a while.
The reptiles got him.
Yes. It's just
it's a delusion.
It's insane how people can.
Or are we insane? Is it the other way around? Because you wouldn't know, would you?
I don't understand how people can actually just rise from nothing. Like, especially with the story with Alex Jones, how he literally just made this claim and then he managed to get all of these shows, and then he was on the street and interviewing people. It's insane.
I think he already he was networking with a lot of people because he used to film short documentaries.
Yeah.
And I think the one that he did one on Bohemian Grove, which is a whole other can of worms. That's another conspiracy theory, but I think that's what blew him up, and a few others. But loads of people that were working with him said he was always really weird, like he'd run off and disappear all the time. He'd make like a crazy claim, said I've caught him, I've seen the lizards or something. Then he'll just disappear for like a day and then come back, and then, like nothing happened. Jeez.
So nothing to see here. I didn't say anything. Bye.
Brilliant.
What do you mean lizards?
What do you mean lizards?
Yep. What are they? Never seen them before.
The fact that people like that exist kind of it makes me worried about the masses, because otherwise the fact that they have a platform means they have an audience, and if they have an audience, then people believe in this stuff.
Yeah.
That worries me.
I have a question. It's actually a question my brother asked. He says, what history will be taught in the future, do you think? Like, for example, do you think Brexit will be studied about?
It's Brexit's going to be such a trivial issue, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
It's going to be 3 or 4 years of political, stagnation and confusion, but really it's going to be nothing in history. When you compare it to huge events, whether it be apartheid or actual wars, no, I can't see students spending more than 10 minutes in a lesson that say, oh,
yeah,
in this year the British decided to leave the EU. It's just when you're in the thick of it, you think it's important because there's this element of like presentism where like, what's going on right now is more important than anything else. It's insignificant.
Yeah, I can see that, and I think most of Brexit is just waffle. It's just being prolonged. So
it's like, do you think about? Imagine having, like, say, 2 years' time. Is our lives genuinely going to be that different whether we are in or out? No. Of course not. Life is still going to go on.
yeah. Any other like things you think will be?
Probably. If Trump can solve what's going on with North Korea,
Yeah.
I think that is probably going to be more important than anything.
Yeah.
To actually see them two leaders get together and crossing that border, it's unbelievable. It's scary. From my experience of meeting people from the Koreans that I know, they do love North Korea, particularly the people. I remember, was it the World Cup in 2012 or something like that? Oh no, yeah, about 2012, something like that. And all the Koreans that I met when I lived in China, they all said they want them to do well because they're Koreans. But in terms of solving like an issue that's gone on for decades and decades and decades, that's going to be far more important than anything else that's currently going on.
Yeah. Have you seen all the memes about it when they met? Like, there's one where Donald Trump's like got a skateboard.
With a skateboard. Yeah.
No.
I think that's
They're great.
like, I have no clue what's actually going on. All I've seen is just the memes.
They're just plastered all over Reddit.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of having communication between, the great devils that are America from the North Korean perspective, and then hopefully the Americans get them to stop, producing nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I think they paused for a while, didn't they? Just so that they can make an alliance.
I think they want sanctions lifted.
Yeah. So at least they're getting along. I remember when he's calling him Rocket Man on Twitter.
Oh, Rocket Man, yeah.
Oh man.
The best was it the button? It says my button's bigger.
Yeah, my button's on my desk and it's bigger.
It's literally like a child. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe he's running the country, and then I look at his Twitter and like, you think it's literally like a 15-year-old.
Literally.
Yeah, but I think he's just
I just like it because it triggers people. It's
Yeah.
great. That's more important. You don't even have to look at his Twitter anymore because anything he does tweet out, people will be mentioning it in the mainstream media anyway.
They're moaning about it.
Yeah.
I think he uses it to his
I mean,
advantage.
yeah.
He's got what? When's his next thingy coming up? His next
2020 and Trump 2020.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
Yeah. I don't.
Not an endorsement, by the way.
I don't know if he'll. Do you think he'd be voted in again?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
who's going to stop him though? For real, like no one. I don't see anybody else coming out of anywhere.
Yeah, I don't see many parties leading as strong as his currently, which is kind of depressing. The fact that he's going to be in power again, but
I don't know. I mean, there's not actually many people running against him. I think Joe Biden is. But I think that's nearly.
Who's the really old guy? I can't remember his name now.
Bernie Sanders. Bernie
Love
Sanders.
a bit Bernie.
Bernie, I don't know. I think Bernie's a bit too, not too old, like
Too left for
Old
America.
school.
yeah. He's very.
Boomer.
He appeals to college people
Yeah,
and stuff. Oh, he's beyond boomer though. He's not boomer. I'd say Trump's kind of boomer.
Yeah.
That's me. But he's peed off quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
because he'll say one thing and then he'll end up doing another. So he's in an awkward place, but he's gonna get re-elected because as of now, I don't see anybody else.
I remember when
he's got that. After you.
I remember when Bernie was running last year, and he was like doing this speech, and he said that he was gonna legalize marijuana, and then you just look in the background and you see this one guy look up from his phone. He's like,
"Oh, the guy turning his head." Yeah,
this is brilliant. Yeah. Like straight away.
That is a good video.
Yeah. Yeah, I got another question. What country would you really like to visit?
North Korea, definitely.
Yeah.
Just something. It's something that's completely alien. That's why I don't like going to Europe. I've just been to France recently. It's just boring because it is literally England, but they speak French.
Yeah.
And I don't get why people find like that kind of comment like annoying. It is England. The architecture is pretty much 90% the same. The style, the etiquette is 90% the same. If I'm going to go somewhere and I want to spend money on a flight, I want to go somewhere as far away and as remote and as different as possible, because that's not because it's some kind of like weird fetish, but it's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's cool. The food's different, the style's different, the way that they talk, and I don't mean in language, but the way that they interact with each other. Oh, it's amazing. So somewhere like North Korea. I mean, I'm trying to go to Japan at Christmas. Japan and Korea, at Christmas this year. I don't know if I like Japan. I think it's going to be expensive.
I actually have a question about that. Someone asked have you ever been to Japan? Because I really want to go, and I just want to know what it's like. Yeah.
No, the closest I've been, like I say, is to the South or Korea. That's the closest that I've been. I didn't go over to Japan, but from what everyone said, it's just imagine London being so developed that Japan's just on a different level, like Futurama kind of level.
Yeah.
That just excites me. The use of technology in like daily life.
Yeah, it's actually insane the level that they're on. Have you seen that? There's a clip of I know this isn't very technologically advanced, but there's a clip of this guy, and he's got a bike, and it's got like a holder for like, I don't know, 25 phones, and he's literally going. People pay him to ride around on his bike with all their phones in this massive holder, and literally go to poker stops.
Don't say Pokemon Go.
On Pokemon Go, and just swipe the poker stop. It's literally like
that is very sad.
That's pretty epic.
He's like a really old Japanese man, and he's got this bike with a massive holder, and he's got a huge battery on the back, and he's plugged all the phones in, and he's literally just swiping them all.
I mean, if he's getting paid for it, then I respect the hustle.
Yeah, it is a good hustle.
You said this last time. You said that about bathwater. Do you have to respect it?
I've got. This one's a bit difficult. I've got a question. You can't answer the actual question because it's a bit too specific. But I'll just say, What is your favourite type of student to teach?
That's a great question. Whoever asked that. Favourite type? Literally, someone that can write. Someone who has ideas. I think that's probably the best way to say it. That's a great question. You know, you if this was an interview now for a job, you'd have stumped me there. And I'm not trying to play I'm not trying to play politician. You know, someone who has ideas. You know, you can come in year 7 or year 8, whatever it's going to be, and you know you can just do what the teacher says. You can just follow along. That isn't that interesting. You've got to be unique, so to speak. By unique, I mean when you've got to write an answer, you've got your own spin on it. You've got a bit of personality.
I remember there was this one student, and he was like in year 8, and he came up with this theory about I can't remember what his name was, but it was an assassination of someone.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
This is Archduke Franz Ferdinand, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Is this the I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think I know who you're
his
talking about.
theory.
And it was funny. It was.
Oh no, it was in the lesson. Yeah, it was in the lesson.
It was. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Just like
Yeah.
The fact that he was like so young.
I literally remember that and said that to
He was
people.
so young, and he came up with that theory, and it was supported by quite a lot of evidence, and he made his point pretty well. So it's like students like that that you remember.
Maybe tell people what we said. Yeah.
Busted out that 900 IQ
Yeah.
play right there.
Yeah, they said that the driver in the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was working for the Black Hand. Yeah, the driver was behind it.
Yeah, the driver was the one that turned.
It's just genius. Yeah. Oh, that's put a smile on my face. That. Yeah, it's those kind of ways. It's not necessarily even. It isn't behaviour, but behaviour is not an issue. You know, at the end of the day, you know, kids are going to be unhappy at certain days. That's why they are kids, and you can deal with it. You know, relationships change over time. You know, a teacher-student relationship changes over time. But ultimately, you don't want to just have someone that's yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. Have some confidence in expressing yourself as an individual, and that'll carry you through.
Yeah.
I get that. It's kind of a follow-up question, but if someone wanted to take history, is there specific specific attributes that they have should have, if they don't have them attributes, I'm trying to put it in a certain way, if someone wanted to do history but you knew it wasn't for them, is there certain things that you can tell that would make someone good at history?
I suppose I genuinely want everyone to take history. Ultimately, whether you look at the results or not, you need to be able to talk about your past, where you come from. This idea of passing on your torch. That's what I always say. That when you have children, you want to pass on your own family's story to your next generation, so to speak. Even if it's little quirky stories about your family, where you come from, etc. But in terms of dissuading, is that what you mean? Well, for me, it's always been about passing on the torch, for example. Pass the torch on to your children. I really like that idea of passing family stories on. I wouldn't tell a student not to take it, because ultimately they're going to have to pass their family story on. I think it's probably wrong to say that you shouldn't take it. Is that what you kind of mean about dissuading kids
I know.
history?
It's just if kids want to do history, but they've got the wrong idea about it. They think it's a different way. It's just.
Okay. Yeah. Well, most think that you've just got to remember facts. Well, if you want to be really awkward about it and break down the requirement, facts are only 35% of the marks that are available. In fact, a lot of the marks come from how you word it. Why would something be important? Why would that assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand be important? It's not just say that he died on this day, for example, or Elizabeth I was born on this day. That's not important. It's about the impact of an event. And this idea to have an idea and argue with it, and that ties back to what I said before about having an original idea or being yourself, really, really carries weight.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because I remember, because choosing for GCSEs is quite difficult, because you're year 8 and you're going to go to year 9, and it's you have to choose something that you know that you're going to be good for. I would say that I would regret.
Did you know, when you picked your subjects?
Pardon?
When you pick your subjects, genuinely, what did you base it on? What were you thinking? And you can be blunt, you can be honest.
My
history,
specific reasons for choosing the subjects I chose was I wanted something that I would enjoy for the length of the actual GCSE. So I chose music, art, drama. Honestly, I regret choosing music just because of the way. I'm not going to say specifically, because there's a couple reasons that are too specific, but one of the main thing is that music just had so many different dead ends for you to have to fill in. And at the end of the day, I wish I did something more worth my time. I mean, Marcus.
But do you still love music? Do you still love music now? Do you still love music now? Like, are you still interested in it? Do you still like? Do it in
Yeah,
your spare
I
time,
still play
etc.?
music in my spare time. Like I have a guitar and a piano, and I'll just play them every now and then because it's good to just like have something to do in your spare time and learn new things on piano and stuff. It's good to do that in your spare time, but I guess like trivializing it and making you like forcing you to do that kind of thing kind of takes the fun out of it as well. So
yeah.
Okay,
I think the hardest part about the music was the
definitely.
theory side of it, because you have to remember so much for something that was not little but not spoke about to like a great amount.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you had some people that were better at the theory side than the practical side, but then you had majority of the class that were better at the practical side but not so good at the theory side. And to be honest, I was sort of like one of those people. But I managed to sort of pass myself on because I got such high marks on my practical that it didn't matter too much that I didn't do so well on my
and it's
theory.
in a sense that you had to learn another language. We had to learn Italian, and it was
that's a lot of commitment.
Difficult
for one subject. That would take obviously a lot of priority over the others. If it's demanding that from you.
Yeah.
And it was like we had to go in specifically for music in during the week. We'd have to go in or stay in after school and do extra curriculum for it. So it was just
like
rehearsals,
it's like that, and we'd be taking out a lesson to do recordings as well. So it's more of a strain on every other subject as well. So I'd say if you're committed to do the theory and you're good at the practical, then I say go for it. But otherwise, if you're not heavily into that theory, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
Do you think there's too much pressure on students to pick options that they're good at? And by good at, I mean good at in terms of getting good grades?
I think
I don't know, because obviously they enjoy
rather than picking something that they like.
I feel like there's a lot of students that will pick things just because it'll get them to the job they want, and it'll make sure that they have a set career path. But there's also like the students that won't pick something because they've not in a way they've been forced to, but they feel like they're obligated to pick that. Otherwise, stuff would
a school will tend to have more of a vested interest in getting the student to pick something that they might do well in, to obviously to bump up their A level rates and stuff. Like at the school I'm at currently, as far as I'm aware, people were not forced. I'd say like urged to like switch to photography around year 10. Because that's obviously quite an easy A at GCSE, and it helps the school because it makes it look better to have more successful A to C grades.
You see, the other trouble is like in sort of like year 8, you sort of like started making new friends and stuff, and then their friends will like go and do one option, but you sort of like want to do something else, but because all your friends are not doing that, you'll go,
I'm gonna do
I
this.
want to stick with my friends, so I'll just do that.
Peer pressure.
But then it's something that they don't want to do. So,
the fact that you mentioned the fact that it's in year 8 as well. Like it's not for all schools. Not all schools. Remember, not all schools pick GCSEs in like January of year 8. But
some do it.
I suppose you just settled at that point.
It's
or at least
it's quite difficult to
it's hard to put that pressure on students, but also it's very nice to be able to start that sort of thing early. It's really helpful, getting that extra year in.
The extra year is definitely more helpful because by the time you get to about end of year 10, it'd be like you've got the general knowledge and it's just revise after that.
Play devil's advocate though. I mean, I'd be happy either way. I probably would prefer the 3-year than 2. You've got the problem sometimes, and I've experienced this when teaching, that by the end of year 10, you've finished all of the content. So that means you've got an entire year 11 where you're going over stuff. But because you've got a year of waiting and waiting and waiting, I think anxiety starts to creep in. Whereas previously, if, for example, you're just doing a 2-year, so it's year 10 and you go straight into the exam, you've got no time to think. You just go straight into the exam. So you don't have that worry stress, if that makes sense.
It varies from person to person, obviously. But I found it quite helpful to have that extra year. Especially in business where you had coursework at GCSE. That was pretty good. To have a whole extra year for that coursework you do right at the start. Rather than cram it all in while you're learning the other content.
Yeah, so it was a bit different for me because I moved from Spain and just come into British education at year 9, so it was like, oh yeah, here you go, here's your options. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's involved in these because the Spanish education system is not that good, and that was one of the main reasons why I moved back. But it was like all of these options, and I'm just like, well, I don't really know what to pick or what's like involved in them, so I was like, give it a go at this, give it a go at that. So
I think we had a question from someone in the Discord chat directed towards Chris about I think it's what's better, catapults or trebuchets?
Oh, trebuchets are they're for 2 different purposes though, aren't they? Well, it's all about the direction of travel. So whether or not you'd want something to be horizontal and to fire and hit in, or you want one that's going to lob over, so it's just 2 different. So one's going to be knocking down walls directly, whereas one might be throwing, for example, carcasses. I can't remember. Oh, what was it called? It was some siege somewhere in history, time of the Black Death in the 1300s. And yeah, they used to lob corpses into this fort, and it was a great way to actually just wipe out everybody that was on the inside. Oh, what's it called?
See, this is the knowledge and expertise we need for the Area 51 raid.
Yes,
on trebuchets and catapults. Advanced. How we need to move? We need to use a catapult to launch a trebuchet in, and then use the trebuchet to launch the aliens out to save them.
You see, I think you're onto something.
I think I'm onto something as well.
Yeah,
we need to get the Area 51 people listening to this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
the battle strategy.
Need to give them all the good ideas.
It's not Kiki the Only's Not So Lonely. It's we're gonna free them damn aliens. Episode 1.
Yes, come on.
Yeah.
Free
those gosh darn aliens.
What do you think of Keanu Reeves, Chris?
I heard you mention in the other podcast. He's a nice guy. He's always been nice. It's I think I read somewhere that I think his wife died, and then his daughter. Oh no, either his wife divorced him or died, and then his child thereafter died. I mean, we've all seen him feeding the pigeons.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
He's such a good guy
in every way. I watched 47 Ronin the other day. That's great. But it's crazy how that one film, this John Wick series, kind of like reignited his career.
All his work's so good. Like he's got John Wick, Matrix. He's got all these big. I mean, they're both trilogies now. So he's got trilogies he carries on his own nearly under his belt.
Yeah.
And he's got Cyberpunk. He's in. I mean, the trailer. He's really good in the trailer. So who knows?
Yeah, I think
might buy the game for Keanu.
There's talks of him doing a 4th Matrix. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know that the trilogy ended on quite a strange note at the end, but there's actual talks of him doing a 4th Matrix, just because of the popularity of him this year. And
is it being re-released in like HD or 3D? Not HD, but like in 3D or something? Because I've seen it advertised.
I think so. I think it's just a throwback, isn't it?
They might have up-resed it and then added some new insider stuff. But,
yeah. I mean, you can never get as good as the CGI in the third one.
Oh boy.
Oh, it literally looks like a plastic man.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Can never get enough Keanu Reeves either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, he's not just awesome.
You no, you're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Awesome.
You have to do the voice though. Whoa.
I can't.
Oh no, what was it called? Speed. Oh, that was a good film.
Yeah,
Or maybe too old.
I think I remember it.
Speed. No,
It's
yeah,
the one where he
I've
jumps on the
seen
bus.
that,
Yes.
The one on the bus.
And there's
The bus.
a bomb on the bus. Yeah, it's
There we
such a
go.
brilliant film.
And it hit
Yeah.
60 miles an hour. Yeah.
What?
Awkward
Why are we
silence.
laughing now?
I don't.
What did I miss?
Yeah. I dyed my hair blue.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a big
Wow.
jump from what I was I mean,
What did you
I
have
went-
before?
I had
You had a
purple before.
Purple before, yeah.
Yeah, now it's gone.
Blue is the
Is it?
Yeah.
colour this year. Yeah, all the things that seem to win in blue. I learnt that today in House
Oh.
Assembly.
Yeah.
Man City, not Indian, sorry. The English cricket team, they were wearing blue. A certain
Yeah.
house won Sports Day.
Hey,
yeah,
it's
they
a
were in blue.
conspiracy. Maybe we need to wear some blue gear before we head off into battle to get those aliens. It's a good omen. It's a good omen, I'm telling you.
Everything
the,
just keeps coming back to the
the
Area
aliens-
51.
Yeah, it has to. Okay,
Obviously.
It all links.
The
This is
future of
thing.
mankind in alien relations is
yeah,
all pinned on this moment, this pivotal moment.
yeah.
So we all know what the anthem or the battle cry is going to be. Eiffel
Oh,
65,
your
yeah?
voice cut out there. What?
I said, I'm blue.
Oh!
Eiffel 65.
Oh, that.
There we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, the aliens.
no,
from
Sorry, that joke
yeah,
was
they're the
wasted.
ones, they've been controlling this whole blue thing. It's a sign. We're gonna go
Honestly-
get them.
Exactly.
Did you get? I got a little feeling then. That's nice. I like it when things like that happen.
It's good.
Yeah, when something serendipitous happens. Yeah.
Now I'm lagging. On my end.
Oh,
Oh no.
John Dog.
Yeah. Wait. No. I
Eh.
think I'm okay now.
All right,
I couldn't hear anything for a second.
all right. You back?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm back now.
Lovely.
Oh.
Epic.
Epic.
Some would say epic.
Yes, very much.
Very,
Very
epic.
epic. Dare
Um,
I say, very epic.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure if you guys share your opinion, but what's your opinion on OJ joining Twitter? You
I
don't
don't know enough
no.
about it at all. He was an NFL player once. He accused of
And
murdering
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah.
I only know. Yeah, I only know the basics. I don't think you can. I mean, if he's making money off it, but was he found not guilty?
I don't know what the legal side of it is. I don't know, because technically it's like there's a thing called double jeopardy in America, which means you can't be tried for the same thing twice.
Yeah.
So technically he could come out and say that he murdered her and the guy, and he can't be done for anything, which is
Did he not write a book that was something like, "I didn't kill my wife, but if I did, this is what I would have done"?
say again.
I'm sure I heard somewhere. This is like years ago. That he wrote a book, and the book was named something like "I didn't kill my wife."
Oh,
If I
yeah.
did, this
No
is what I
way.
would
It
have
was
done."
it was called
Oh.
yes, yeah. There was a book and it was called If I Did It, and
What an asshole.
he
Oh
went
my
to
Lord.
Oh,
he went
yeah.
to release it, but publishers wouldn't post it because of how graphic the content
Oh, okay.
was in it. So no one's ever actually read it
Yeah.
apart from the publishers.
I think that
No one would
the
allow
double
it.
the double jeopardy cause is ridiculous when you make such a even for that making that book that is just so wrong. You know?
Yeah, there's a brilliant film about it though. There's one where there's this woman, and I think it's a true story as well. This woman gets trialed for her husband's murder, and he faked his death basically, but she has to serve her sentence, and then as soon as she gets out, she goes and kills him because he can't be trialed.
It rings a bell, that, yeah. If you want, let's just say, a more diverse version, watch the film Confession of a Murderer. It's a Korean... Confession of a Murderer.
Confession of a Murderer.
That is beautiful. Now there's a film about that. Exact topic. It's a Korean...
I mean, I've been watching Black Mirror recently.
I've heard it's taken really a bit of a dive, though. I've heard it's not as good as season 1 2.
I gotta say, the Miley Cyrus episode was...
Oh, I've heard that's just a bit terrible.
It was terrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I wanted to unplug.
I haven't watched it,
yeah.
but just...
No, I don't.
No, but like...
Piece of
The gamer one,
that
going into the details.
Was interesting.
The gamer one was okay. I think it was episode 1.
Episode 1 was the Prime Minister
of the new season,
wasn't it? Oh no, that was season 1. I think it was episode 2. I'll have to pull it on Netflix. I can't remember.
No, but the one about the gamers, that was good. I like the idea of that because I like the technology behind it. But probably the favorite episode would be, the relationship one where you spend like a certain amount of time
one with
someone.
The times and you cool. After it.
Kill a DJ, I think it is, or hang
that
the
one's
DJ.
Really interesting.
Hang the DJ. Yeah.
I mean, I was hooked from the first episode. The first episode with the Prime Minister. Basically, the princess of the United Kingdom was kidnapped, and the Prime Minister, for her to be released, the Prime Minister had to do something indecent to a pig on live TV.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it kind of just gave me flashbacks of David Cameron.
Yeah.
Which is ouch.
And that whole thing with the pig head.
Yeah. Oh God. But the actual concepts that they use are like
thought-provoking, to say the least.
Yes, definitely. It's like one of them was when you have total recall, so you can watch your memories back. That one was good.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think.
The social interaction one.
Yeah.
Everyone's given a rating. That is life now, though. That ultimately is like, I'm going to be judged off this podcast just as you two will. That's why maybe certain people don't want to do certain things online.
# deep.
Deep.
It is quite.
No. But it's like one reason why I don't want to go on Facebook, because I don't want people to see certain parts of my life and make judgments.
I mean, that's fair enough, because I feel like everyone should be allowed their certain amount of privacy, but it gets to a point where some influencers are so out there with everything that nothing's private to them, and then as soon as they complain about something coming out, it's like you feel it's like they've put it on themselves in a sense.
You have those social media people doing like glamming their lives up and posting them as well, and then in reality they'd be like really dull. Like they wake up in the morning, there's just like roses and chocolates all over their room. I've seen a video. It's like ridiculous. Like there's balloons floating around in their room when they wake up for no reason. I mean, I wouldn't even. It'd be annoying to wake up every morning. There's like flowers and stuff all over your bed. You're gonna have to clean it up later. There's just balloons floating around everywhere. Thanks for that.
Oh, I thought you meant roses and
chocolate's
chocolate.
Nice, but chocolate's nice, but cleaning up everything, don't know.
What if you had hay fever?
If you had hay fever,
you used to wake up. The amount of pollen just in your room everywhere.
Wouldn't be so good, would it?
I think you would die,
I would
Kean.
die.
Well, it goes on to, what's he called? Was it Boris Johnson a couple of weeks ago? Had that big argument,
Simmons?
I think, with his partner.
Yeah.
And people were saying, well, what was the argument about? Should we be saying, can you tell us? Can you tell? We have a vested interest to know if you're going to be prime minister, or should he have private life? Should he have a private life? Sorry.
I don't know. I don't think so because it's actually not relevant to him running for prime minister. It's not relevant to anything. There's no point. Like, even if we did know, it wouldn't change anything unless it was something completely horrible or whatever. And, I mean, it's his private argument. He's got his own right to keep that.
I feel like
inside news of Area 51.
Bojo's completely changed though. Like the old Bojo compared to now, I can't see him being prime minister. It's just his face as prime minister. It's just the image.
Be a bit of I think the whole him being London mayor. He was quite. I would
goofball.
Say he was unintentionally charismatic because he was just funny. What he did. When he tackled that kid when he was playing rugby. He wouldn't stop doing funny stuff. I think there was that whole zipline thing that was huge. That was a huge meme.
Yeah,
he just couldn't catch a break.
He petitioned to have trampolines to work. Like instead of having the pavement, it'd be like one big long trampoline.
That would be so cool. I mean, it's a logistical nightmare. Like how a mothers with prams are going to get anywhere. Banned. You have to stay inside now. Okay, I'll take the risk. No, but could you imagine going to work or school? You're just bouncing the whole time. It'd be really fun.
Just bouncing your newborn.
No, that's a big no. See, he didn't think it through that far, did he?
Yeah, I know. It's just he's changed too much for me to see him in that kind of light.
Yeah.
Would you prefer someone like him or like someone who's a little bit more uptight or a bit more traditional? I mean, the one thing that Trump and Johnson have both got is they are different. And is that something that people...
It's also the thing, like, is different always good?
Yeah, no, I mean...
It looks like he's going to be Prime Minister no matter what, though.
Right, see, I think Boris, he's definitely going to be Prime Minister. There was that point where it was looking like Jeremy Hunt could have been, because of the whole Carrie Simmons row and all the other stuff, but I think it was after that live TV debate where he just failed to finish him off. You know, he's come back strong. I've come back stronger.
You might want to add some cut. Okay.
Oh, I think Time Magazine's just released the 25 most influential people on the internet.
Oh, like Carlos Massa, isn't it?
I don't know. I've seen some of these are like I don't understand how. Do you remember the world record egg? The one where the egg got like 50-something million likes.
Yeah, actually, let's have a quick look at how.
Yeah, I wonder what it's on now. Egg. Just the fact that an egg can be an influential person in today's society.
It's
how.
Yeah, it's currently at 53,674,943 likes.
Quite important. Just think about it. Egg.
Yeah, but then you have people like.
It's just a picture of an egg.
James Charles.
Imagine being the first person to forward that, or the first person to like it. Go, yeah, I'm just gonna like this, and then it turns into 60 million. You just said.
It's just a stupid idea. It just gets out of control.
Yeah.
It has 3 million comments.
As if someone's gonna go through and read them.
There's people that have commented like 2 minutes ago, 42 seconds ago.
What?
Oh my.
Now that's one of the highlights of my job. If you play a video and you're teaching, then you go to the comment section on YouTube. Oh, it's a minefield sometimes, but it's normally worth it.
Just feel like some people just don't have a life.
Yeah.
No,
it's like,
right.
I don't even think Keanu Reeves is on it.
3 seconds.
I think it's Time Magazine. I mean, they're all out of touch. They don't.
I feel Time Magazine.
They don't want to associate with actually influential people because they're individualistic and quite controversial. Even PewDiePie, who for the longest time was squeaky clean Mr. PG Kids, has kind of. I wouldn't even say gone off the deep end. He made a mistake. He came back from it, but after that point, Pardon?
What, Japan or after Japan?
Okay, you keep cutting out.
No, sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. Sorry, I'm thinking of what's his name, Mike Paul.
Oh,
Who's
that
the one with the
Logan
suicide
Paul
in
guy. Yeah.
the forest.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting them two mixed up. Old man.
Oh god, I don't know what Logan Paul's doing. I think people like that they're always going to exist.
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
it's insane to think like the fact that ever got through even the editing stage is just beyond me. I don't understand.
It's not the funniest video ever. I'll drop the link in the Discord there.
All right, I'll watch it after.
Oh.
Yeah, watch it after.
I'm just seeing. So we've got Donald Trump, and he's right under world record egg.
World record egg. How does that feel?
The Duchess,
Beaten by an
Duchess and Duke of what is it, Sussex? Just Harry and Meghan.
They're not really influential. They're like Harry. I don't know. He just doesn't. He's not in touch, is he? Like when he said he wants to ban Fortnite. I mean, it's funny, but it's just a bit.
I feel like he was just doing that just for.
I mean,
the I don't know how to put in any other word but clout. Like he just said it for, just so people would. Yeah, that's
just
it.
to gain attention.
Just to gain attention.
I think he was piggybacking off all the games are bad. You have all these parents that like they give their kids they use their credit card to buy like V-Bucks or whatever it is, and then they'll forget, they'll like accidentally tick a box or something, and then these kids are like 10 or 6 and they probably don't have a concept of money if they're a bit dumb. Specifically, nothing else. Okay, no 5-year-olds and no 9-year-olds. They're 10 or 6.
10 or 6, nothing between, nothing else.
I mean, it's insane the fact that like it's been a ongoing long problem, but it's only like recently that people have started to moaning about like the addiction to games like kids have. But at the same time, it's that there's the massive argument where people will say that video games makes kids violent. No. And my personal view on that is that the video games don't make the kids violent. It's whatever the external factors are. If the kid has them intentions, then the kid's going to do it. If the kid doesn't have any intentions to do anything violent, they're not going to lean towards that. And if anything, these games are a release. But it's just Facebook moms. They all they have their own.
I don't know.
Views.
I think it's with video games. I find them quite. They help. They'll help you chill out sometimes if you're in a mood, bad mood.
Yeah.
They're quite. You can be creative. There's all sorts of games. I'd say social media is infinitely more harmful to young people than games ever will be.
Especially
on so many different levels.
Definitely.
Like it's not even the fact that like you have to post this every day and etc. It's like the fact that people obsess over checking their stats, if you get what I mean. So like people will look over their Instagram
they
likes.
Need that validation, and instead of seeking it from people in face-to-face conversation, you keep maintaining a healthy relationship. They'll just look for like numbers on the screen.
Yeah,
that type of deal. Yeah.
It's a bit sort of like on Snapchat, people will just like look at their snap score. And
I still don't understand what it is.
I
don't understand what a snap score is. What is it?
You can't like spend it on anything. Like I'd get it if you can. If you could buy more hats for your Snapmoji or whatever they call Bitmoji. That makes sense.
That's it.
Even that, it's just unintuitive to have this number. It should just be disabled. Because
Yeah.
They said they were going to do that, didn't they? Instagram. They said they were trialing posts without likes or something. I don't
fully get it. How?
Yeah, but would you play League, for example? Would you play League if they didn't have, like,
Pardon?
bronze and silver, etc.?
Oh, bronze and silver.
Bronze and silver.
Like, would you play League? I'm in like Iron 4. I'll tell you what, I am fuming. Okay, I got a pentakill and I won 7 of the games as Alawi
Bloody
because she's just so spammable, and I managed to be an Iron 4.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll play casual. Placements,
What, after
yeah.
placements?
Placements. They're completely broken. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't League.
That as in, like, it encourages people. It encourages people to post.
Yeah.
It encourages people
But yes,
to play.
I like
because
it's a
you've got the
competitive element. And I'd say, I mean, with a game like League, I would, because there's an incentive as well, and it's got a lot more prestige. But in a game, I play more Dota. I've always played more Dota. I've had bouts of League, but for now it's Dota, and I'd say it's different because out of my, let me have a look. This is depressing.
Yeah, I remember you used to petition about Dota all the time.
2,230 hours.
Oh my god.
I don't really play ranked. I just like having fun with people I meet, just doing stupid stuff. It's whatever. I'm trying to get ranked placements. There's nothing.
There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, when you listen to those like motivational speeches, etc., and you've all got 24 hours in a day, and you can do it, you can achieve those kinds of things. And then when I look at my like league, you've spent like 5 days this year playing the game. It's like maybe my life
it's like awful. Still it's good fun, and it's like I wouldn't say it's mindless. Like, I don't know if it's Call of Duty or whatever. I think it's a waste of time because it's just rooty-tooty point and shooty.
It is quite a repetitive format.
And I mean that. What kind of effects would that have on someone's psyche? With their like reward system, their brain or whatever, and getting onto more of a brain level there. But
I get a lot more stressed playing League than whenever you used to play like Call of Duty or Battlefield or even Half-Life. I mean, is that because it's single player?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just like
interactions with others is dangerous.
You've got to deal. Like, see, in a MOBA, you've got to deal with other people. You've got to play. You've got to know everything. But then, like, you'll find all sorts of people, and they could be like assholes sometimes. So, no, you learn a lot. You grow thicker skin sometimes. You just got to do. You got to roll the punches.
Was that a PG word, Johnny?
Is that a PG word? Just wait. Okay,
I think we might let it slide.
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna say best friends, and now you're gonna cut that in, okay?
Okay.
Sometimes you find best friends.
Wait, Johnny, how many hours did you say you had?
I've been playing a lot more recently. I dropped it for a while, not too long ago, but that's.
Oh, that's all together 2,000 hours.
I don't see the point of like smurfing or anything.
Okay, that's 83 days apparently.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean,
I'm
guilty of it. I don't think it's that 2,000 hours on League, but it's probably 2,000 hours altogether. Oh, in fact, easily.
Yeah, I mean it.
But I suppose 83 days
both
over the
like,
course
League
of a
and Dota
lifetime
free
is
as well.
nothing.
I mean, like I've got 83. I've spent money. I choose to buy stuff.
You
don't buy characters or anything though. It's not like that. Like you can access everyone.
Yeah, so it's not pay to win essentially.
Yeah, but I choose to. I don't know. With League, I don't know. Sometimes they can balance the newer characters really poorly, but I don't think they do it intentionally. It's not like they'll make the new release busted because sometimes I haven't been following it, but sometimes they just suck completely. They're like completely useless. But I mean, for Dota, it's just purely cosmetic. They put a lot of effort into the stuff, so I'll chuck them some of my money.
I remember for Dota, what is it? They have a prize pool for.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, we're headed. Let me have a look now.
I remember back in secondary school, they had the biggest prize pool they'd ever done. I can't remember what it was.
The website just crashed. It's back up. It's the biggest again this year at.
Really?
It's not loading.
Go on.
Yeah, they already beat the world record in half the time this year.
Oh no.
I know. I think. Yeah.
Listen to the passion.
I'm proud of the Dota gang. We did it. I think we beat 30 million.
Oh dear.
30 million.
But bear in mind that Valve get 4 times that because a 20% of the money made from purchases in game go to the prize pool. So they've generated what, like 150 million.
Oh my god.
In the space of like 54 days or something. It's just ridiculous.
It's insane if you think about like the fact that a video game can make that much money,
Yeah.
and then someone wins it in a contest.
Yeah, someone wins it in a contest. It's free to
Particularly
play.
as it's free to
all
play as well.
cosmetic.
Mm.
But yeah, you got. I think did Fortnite have Fortnite beating it? I've got no idea.
I don't really follow Fortnite.
They could throw 500 million in and wipe the floor, but
yeah,
I
probably.
think Epic's quite a greedy company.
Yeah, but at least with these prize pools for these games, it's more rewarding than the lottery because you actually have to work for it.
Yeah.
At least you're
Like,
not just being given by chance.
They're giving us like levels for beating prize goals, and I mean I'm disappointed with we've raised 30 million and the game mode they released sucked. Okay, just to preface, you probably don't have a great understanding of MOBAs, or I mean Chris, you wouldn't understand Dota very much, but there's a character, there's a game mode where there's just two like beasts that fight. Over time, and you collect essence and upgrade them. And there's a character, and for the first 17 hours, the game mode was basically unplayable because he could go inside of the monster. He invests units, take out the items, sell it, and then get 99999 gold in like 20 minutes.
Well,
he literally at that point in the game, nothing like it's over. The person could just go and one shot everybody and be invincible.
Brilliant.
Valve with sitting there with their. At that point, they were on like 25 million, so they're sitting there with like about 100 million, and they're just like, "Should we do anything? Nah, leave it for 17 hours. Not good." Sounds like a pretty Valve thing to do. Always behind her.
Yeah, so we're coming up to around about an hour. If we want to maybe wrap it up a little.
Wrap it up. Do we have any more? Do we have any more last quick questions we haven't?
I'll just have a quick look. I'm not sure. I think I've asked all of them.
Do you three have any or?
Hold up, I'm looking. What's the best cereal in your opinion? There's one. Just cereal.
Food or Frost. I was going to say serial killer now. Frosties, probably Frosties.
Ice cold milk.
I don't know if they're still going. I don't have. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I don't have it anymore. But if I was to have it now, maybe Weetabix, 2 Weetabix.
Yeah.
Tablespoon, cold milk, and then controversial. I don't let it go fully soggy. It's got to have a little bit of rigidity. There's a nice word.
See, I don't know about that. Let it go soggy.
I mean, the only thing that I just absolutely disagree in is when people put the milk in first.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just a terrible idea. That's just in every conceivable way.
Why?
Yeah, but when you take a pro gamer move, you put the milk in the cereal bag and the cereal in the milk box.
Why would you do that?
You fill the cereal box with bowls and then eat the box.
Because why not?
Obviously.
Exactly. These are just pro gamer moves.
It's just life hacks. I love life hacks.
We need to be eating healthy, having good cereal because our boys are front runners. We're gonna need all the energy we can get to break into.
Oh yeah, you gotta rep all the monster camps.
All right.
Fly that blue flag. Life is suffering. Fly that blue flag.
Because blue flag will do the trick. Anywhere you go.
Nah, green flag.
Is the thumbs up button blue now? I swear they changed it, or is it still green on YouTube? It's blue.
Let
me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me go on YouTube. So, to all the people watching right now, it's gotten very meta now. I'm directly. Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Never mind. The dislike button is blue as well.
To them.
Just ignore that color blue. Press the like button. Good luck. Good fortune. Pressing blue.
Yeah, if you're from
people say
if you're from Australia, dislike, because that'll be like upside down.
Yeah.
Whoa. I think we actually have a listener from Australia, and we have one from Austria as well. It's quite strange.
There's some people.
I just just looking at my Spotify statistics, and I just saw Austria and Australia.
Mr. International.
Yeah, Mr. International, Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. I think any closing statements, guys? Johnny?
I don't know. Just remember to wear blue. Like, share the podcast, and remember, okay, gamers rise up. That's what I've got to say.
Yeah. Marcus?
I think I'm gonna have to like join the front line with Kyle's the Area 51 raid and bring my monster cams with me. Because got to show that support.
Obviously.
Got to get them aliens.
And Chris?
Keep eating Frosties and always leave a tea bag in the cup.
Yes, I agree. It's been brilliant having you on the podcast, and I'm sure this one will be probably the most viewed podcast. Sure. Yeah, definitely. All right. Thanks for listening. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. That's a mission complete. Right there.